I always will. I'll always be friends with Modi. He's great. Prime Minister, he's great.
While the world watches the India-US trade tariff standoff,
India and the United States have a special relationship. There's nothing to worry about.
We have good relations with the Americans. We have good relations with our counterparts, the Commerce Secretary or the US Trade Representative. We are negotiating in good faith. We will meet the long-term aspirations of the people of the US and India through a fair, equitable and balanced free trade agreement, respecting the sensitivities of the people of both countries.
India and the EU are in advanced stages of negotiating a free trade agreement.
EU and India are engaged in very intense negotiations and discussions.
Yes.
My Commerce Secretary was in Brussels only Monday, Tuesday.
Yes.
Their team comes down next week for negotiation round. The Trade Commissioner Maros Sharkovich will be in India from 11th onwards.
Wow.
So we are in a regular dialogue.
Just 3 days ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a conversation with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, about the, quote, early conclusion of the India-EU FTA and implementation of the IMEC corridor. The EU President too has echoed a similar sentiment, and just last week, German Foreign Minister, who was on a visit to India, also reaffirmed the same commitment.
We count on your support to deepen our relationship with the European Union and expedite the FTA negotiations. India and Germany have a strong history of multilateral cooperation, which I'm confident will be further advanced through our talks today.
Germany is a full supporter of getting this agreement negotiated as soon as even possible. We are a free trade nation. And of course, you know that after or similar to the Mercosur agreement, the EU is working on the one with India as the most important to us. And I hope really that we can be successful, and you can be assured that we will use all arguments we have with the Commission to push this forward and to reach a new level between our countries and between the EU and India.
EU is one of that region, which is still believer in, free trade and multilateralism and so on, like India. And therefore, and also it has been as I said, a major partner. So whatever happens in the EU, is important for India, and this FTA has been under negotiation for a long time.
In fact, if you're looking from the European side, in fact, many things, of course, will depend on what finally the agreement is going to be. But average tariff in India are much higher than Europe. So obviously, they are going to benefit in many of those commodities, and particularly they are looking in the automobile sector. They are looking in the foods and drink sector. They are also looking particularly in the services sector, because in services, the Europeans are very, very competitive. And India, of course, would be looking into the labor-intensive sectors, particularly textile, leather, and many other areas, but also particularly in the areas of mobility, more for mobility. So we'll see if all these things are going to be part of the deal, and ultimately both are looking for benefits.
As the EU delegation arrives in India this week for pivotal FTA negotiations, both sides are pushing for a swift and ambitious deal. EU's commitment also reflects from the fact how President von der Leyen of the European Commission and the College of Commissioners had visited India last year in an unprecedented move. EU was the largest trading partner of India for goods, with trade being USD $137.4 billion in the financial year 2023-24. Bilateral trade between the two sides in services was estimated at $51.45 billion in 2023. Negotiations are at an advanced stage. Core discussions focus on reducing tariffs and enhancing market access in automotive and pharmaceutical sectors, along with textiles, dairy, wine, and digital services. Meanwhile, India seeks easier entry for its pharma exports, while the EU pushes for protections in vehicle and agricultural goods. Beyond trade, the FTA signals a deeper alliance, fostering strategic autonomy for both India and the European Union in a multipolar world. This comes against the backdrop of the historic India-US tariff war, where escalating duties have strained the relationship, prompting India to diversify its partners.
I think economic powerhouse and the most populous country and biggest democracy in the world, India, has a special importance in a world region that is of strategic importance. Our economies in particular have a lot to gain, I believe, if we are to further expand our cooperation.
Well, it is helpful in the sense that at least it is a group of countries which do not think like the Americans under the Trump administration, in terms of imposition of tariffs and imposition of other barriers, protectionism so much, and so in that sense it is very helpful. But then these days, each country or group of countries have their own sort of characteristics. I mean, it's not necessary that what we do with the EU, other countries will necessarily copy that.
There's no question that the United States and India, as the two largest democracies in the world, have very much in common. There's really no international problem that can't benefit from cooperation between the United States and India. That having been said, the present administration and Donald Trump have done more to damage the U.S.-India relationship in 24 hours than we were able to achieve in bringing the nations closer together over 35 years. There's no question that India at this point needs to turn to other democracies throughout the world, Western Europe, Japan, Australia, others who have common values in order to secure its own interests.
At this point of time, when there are every country is finding difficulty with having a trade with the United States, although European Union has already made a deal with the United States, with 15% tariffs, but still, things are unpredictable. Many things are still need to be worked it out, and India we are struggling to have a deal with the United States. So I think it's important for both the countries because for particularly for India, European Union is a big export market. For EU it may not be as big, but still they feel in this kind of climate, having a trade deal with India itself also sends a very important signal strategically to the United States and to the world. So I think the climate is perfectly suitable now to have a trade deal.
While India and the EU inch closer for a deal that may not have been on the top of everyone's radar, Washington seems to be in dire need of recalibration.
It is very, very harmful. It's just impossible to have an economic relationship when, one, the Trump administration believes that there is a need to address trade deficits through some sort of reciprocal tariff. Trade deficits are a problem separate and apart from tariffs. So that's 25% of the 50%. The other has to do with Russian oil. And on that, India needs to see what its long-term interests are and work with others to secure an oil supply at reasonable prices while trying to do its very best to stop the war that Russia has imposed on Ukraine.
The The ongoing tariff conflict highlights contrasting approaches. While American policies emphasize protectionism, the EU's collaborative stance is drawing India closer, potentially reshaping the global trade dynamics. These developments come as India has emerged as a #1 trading partner for the world in recent years, with a CEPA with UAE in 2022, the ECTA with Australia in 2022, the EFTA trade deal completed just last month, the FTA with the United Kingdom signed in the month of May, and trade talks closing in with Oman with a date of signing impending.
India equals Asia for us, and Germany and the European Union, in a way, are equivalent for India.
As talks progress, the FTA could redefine India and EU relations, setting standards for sustainable and technology-driven trade. Success hinges on mutual concessions, with experts optimistic yet cautious about navigating remaining hurdles. The EU trade delegation will soon land in India, and Bharat is looking forward to it.